Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores and results of week 8 of this season's Premier League. But as always, before we do this week's predictions, let's have a look back at how well we got on last week.
Last week I had 8 points with one perfect score, which was the Spurs' 2-0 win over Huddersfield.
Yeah, and I had just the 7 points. I think it was 5 correct results and one perfect score, which was again the 2-0 victory Spurs had over Huddersfield. Yeah, so you had 8 points, Nathan, I had 7, and the overall scores now is you've got 56 and I've got 64, so you're just 8 points behind me now. Looking in the comments section, we had somebody this week, Shane O'Donnell, a magnificent 19 points. Shane, that's out of this world, you could say. 19 points. I think that's the highest score this season so far that I can remember anyway, so kudos to you, Shane. For those of you who are playing along in the Fantasy Football League, then this is the top 10. And we've got a change of leadership this week where Sorry Not Sorry, managed by Jason Wade, is back on top. I think he was there a few weeks ago as well. He's on now a grand total of 492 points. The top scorer for the week though, who came in with an excellent score, was Brian FC, and Brian FC is managed by Brian Lesoto. 90 points, magnificent. For you and me, Nathan, I slipped down the table down to 44th position. I'm on 405 points. Last week I just got the 49 points for last week's game week. And you, Nathan, have slipped down to 80th position. Last week you just had the 39 points.
I had another terrible week. I don't know what's going on this year, honestly.
You've got 357 points overall, but yeah.
I've been doing terrible.
As you say, both of us, we need to up our game on the fantasy football side of things. But that's enough of last week. Let's crack on with the predictions for week 8.
Okay, so first up we have the Friday night fixture between Brighton and West Ham at the Amex. Now, Brighton haven't won their last 5 games. They've got 2 draws and 3 losses. Well, and West Ham starting to pick up a bit of form now. Pellegrini really starting to show his magic, to be honest. I can see this one being a really close game. There isn't really going to be much in it. And I can see this one being a 1-1 draw.
Well, West Ham last week had a fantastic result against Manchester United, of course. 3-1 at London Stadium. However, Manchester United going through a bit of a bad sticky patch at the moment, as we all know. It's arguments on the back pages rather than football on the back pages from Manchester United at the moment. In this match though, Brighton, you know, kind of solid-ish at home. They do find themselves in 15th position, but West Ham on a good little run themselves, winning 2 of the last 3. I think it's going to be tough to go to Brighton. Brighton, okay, they lost 2-0 against Manchester City last week, but I think this one's going to end up in a 2-2 draw. Okay, moving on to the first of the Saturday's matches, which is Spurs against Cardiff, being played at Wembley Stadium.
Unfortunately.
Well, yeah, it should have been at the new ground, but as we know, that new ground isn't ready now.
AKA the toilet seat.
If you want to call it that. Spurs have got numerous injuries at the moment. They are playing this evening against Barcelona at home. Hopefully, you know, there's going to be a few more players out because Cardiff need all the help they can get, really. Their squad depth though is massive, so whether it'll affect them too much against the Bluebirds this weekend is to be debated, really. However, Cardiff put up a very, very good performance against Burnley. Just 2 stupid mistakes at the back, really. Should never have happened. They should have beaten Burnley, really, by 2 or 3 goals, but it wasn't to be. But I can actually see Cardiff go into Tottenham this weekend and carving out a 1-1 draw. I know it's very unlikely. Spurs are very strong at home. They've only lost, I think, once this season against Liverpool at Wembley, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw in this one.
I've actually gone for a 1-1 draw as well. I think
really.
I think if Warnock, if he fixes the problems at the back, and we know all the Spurs players that are out. Dele Alli's out, Vertonghen's out, I believe. Eriksen's out.
Yeah, Eriksen's out.
Yeah, Eriksen's out. I think.
But they've still got a very good defence. So kind of, you know, defensively they're going to be solid. So it's going to be tough. But I think
it's going to be tough. I think it'll be 1-1 though.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up we have Leicester versus Everton. Now Leicester, winning their last 2 matches, seem to be playing really well. Everton, very cagey form at the moment, a bit on and off. I think this is going to be a really close one as well. This week is going to be full of so many close fixtures, and I think it's going to be another 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Everton's form has been up and down at the moment. They did have a good solid victory against Fulham last weekend, 3-0. Leicester going away last week to Newcastle, surprisingly, I think they won 2-0 at the end. So they're in good form themselves, up to 8th position. And I think they're going to continue this fine form against Everton. Everton, you know, because of their inconsistency at the moment, I can see Leicester winning this one 2-1. Next up we got Burnley against Huddersfield. I wasn't that impressed against Burnley, although they did grind out that 2-1 victory against Cardiff City last week. They took their chances. They didn't deserve to win, but they took their chances, and the game was all about scoring goals in the end. From their 3 chances they had, they scored those 2 goals, so kudos to them. They have picked up form. I think they beat Bournemouth 4-0 in week 6, of course. Huddersfield, bottom of the table at the moment, struggling to score, struggling to get points, but I think they're going to go away to Burnley, to Turf Moor, and grind out a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. Well, I can't see that happening. I think Burnley are going to continue with their good run of form. Sat in 12th, won their last 2 matches. I think Huddersfield, I can't see them winning this one. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Burnley. Next up we have another big fixture, Palace versus Wolves. Wolves made a really good start to life in the Premier League. They haven't lost their last 5 matches, which is a really good start. Patricio being amazing, Neves, really good play as well, Moutinho, Jota, everyone has just been playing really well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jota has been in the side recently. I don't know, I'll have to look at that.
I need to look at that as well. And Adama Traore, of course.
Yeah.
And Palace, 13th position, a bit inconsistent you could say as well. I think that this is going to be a Wolves win, to be honest, and I think it's going to end 2-1.
Yeah, Crystal Palace home against Wolves. Wolves been doing really well so far this season. Surprised me slightly. They didn't get off to the very, very best of starts, but since then they haven't looked back. And I can actually see them continuing this one. And I think that Wolves are going to win this one 1-0. They don't concede many goals. They don't score a lot either. So a narrow victory, 1-0 to Wolves. Final fixture of the 3 PM kickoffs on Saturday is Watford against Bournemouth. Watford, storming start to the season. They are in 6th position at the moment, although they haven't won in 3 matches either, losing their last game away against Arsenal. I can see them bouncing back though against Bournemouth. Bournemouth themselves bounced back last week at home to Crystal Palace, of course, 2-1 on Monday evening. In this one though, I think Watford are going to get back to winning ways, and I can see them winning this one 2-1. They've got an exciting attack line, you could say. Troy Deeney is bullying defenders left, right and centre. Well, he was particularly earlier in the season in those first 4 matches anyway. So yeah, 2-1 to the Hornets for me.
Interesting. Both clubs have had really good starts to the season. Bournemouth in 7th. 10 years ago, if you would say Bournemouth would be in 7th position and above Man United in the Premier League, then they'd probably kick you out, but...
Kick you out of where?
Kick you out of wherever you said that, but whatever. Watford, another good start to the season. Bournemouth being consistent recently.
Yeah, they had that 4-0 defeat against Burnley, of course, didn't they?
I think it's good. I think this is Watford are gonna scrape by, and I think it's gonna be a 2-0 victory.
Interesting.
Moving on to the evening kickoff, we've got Man United versus Newcastle. Man United, what can we say? Loads of Man United fans want Mourinho to go. The players aren't behind him, the fans aren't behind him, they just want him out really. They are sat in 10th position, very inconsistent form. Drew yesterday to Valencia, not a good showing, booed off the pitch. Newcastle, not the same situation either with Mike Ashley. I think this is just going to be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, high expectations really from the Manchester United fans. They are in 10th position, but you know, their expectations, because they spend a load of money and everything, and they got one of the best managers in the world. Well, what people have said in the past anyway. This match up against Newcastle. Newcastle don't concede many goals. I know they conceded a couple against Leicester last week. So far this season, though, that they, although they haven't been winning games, they haven't won at all this season. Defensively, they've been quite sound. Man United, what can you say, really not in good form. However, I can see them narrowly winning this one 1-0 if Marcus Rashford plays. He played against Valencia. He did look, to me, their best player or their most the person who looked like would score or break down that Valencia defence. So yeah, I'm going for a 1-0 victory for the Red Devils in this one.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay, next up we've got Fulham against Arsenal, the first of the Sunday matches. Fulham find themselves just above the relegation zone, and Arsenal are on a good winning streak. I think they've won 5 now of their last 5 matches, so really good at home especially. I think they're going to be too strong for Fulham in this London derby, and I can see the Gunners carving out a narrow 2-1 victory. I think Mitrovic will get back to scoring ways, haven't scored for a game or 2 now. So yeah, 2-1 to the Gunners for me.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are just going to be too strong for this one as well. Fulham, their defence is a bit weak in my opinion.
Yeah, they are not the best
in the back, and with Aubameyang and Lacazette, if everyone starts them both up front, they're going to just destroy them. So I think it's going to be 2-0 to Arsenal.
Fair enough.
Moving on to Southampton versus Chelsea. Chelsea unbeaten this season. They have drawn their last 2 matches, however. Southampton, down the other end of the table, lost the last 2 matches. It's going to be a Chelsea win, isn't it? It's going to be 3-0. That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be a Chelsea win, but I don't think it's going to be quite that scoreline. Southampton, I think I heard a couple of their fans last week saying that their defence was all over the place, when normally I think this season they haven't been too bad, been playing better than what the results suggest. However, they're coming up against a very, very good team in Chelsea. Hazard in fine form at the moment as well, looking the best player in the Premier League as well. Straightforward win for me for the Blues, 2-0 to Chelsea. Okay, the final match of the weekend is the biggest match, you could say, as well, of not only the weekend but the season. It's Liverpool against Manchester City up at Anfield. Will we hear the Anfield roar for a change? Because these top 6 sides, from what I've heard so far, people moaning on social media that the atmosphere at these top grounds isn't the best. It should be great up there, electric even, you could say, for this match. Biggest match of the season so far, of course. Liverpool, Manchester City, both in Champions League action this week. Manchester City just winning 2-1 against Hoffenheim, wasn't it, last night? Liverpool in action this evening. I'm not sure what the score is. We're recording this at the time of Liverpool playing, so yeah, Manchester City, I think they're going to, so far they've shown to be a force to be reckoned with in the league this season, but so have Liverpool as well, apart from that draw against Chelsea last week, where I think Chelsea should have won. I think the citizens are going to win this one, go to Anfield and win 2-1.
I've actually gone the complete opposite. I think because it's at Anfield, and because of how they played last season, Liverpool did win those 2 matches at Anfield against Man City last season. And I think that run is going to continue, and I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. I just think they're going to be too strong for Man City in this one. Well,
they're going to have to they're going to have to get the ball off Manchester City. Of course, the last couple of games, I know they beat Cardiff and Brighton last weekend, and possession-wise, they're up in the 80%, up around about 80% for those 2 games. So Liverpool got to get the ball off them. But if anyone can beat Manchester City, it is going to be Liverpool. But I think it's going to be Manchester City. You think it's going to be Liverpool. We'll see how it goes. On the weekend, on Sunday, could be a draw, or even they could cancel themselves out like the Chelsea-Liverpool match. However, guys, that's it for our predictions for this weekend. As usual, I'm going to leave a template of the fixtures in the description. So for you to play along, all you need to do is copy and paste them into your comment. And like Shane O'Donnell this week, you too could get a shout out in the next video. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
Sub to my channel, link in the description.
Yeah, the usual Cardiff City vlogs on there, home ones particularly. Haven't done any away ones yet, but it's coming soon. Yeah, look out for those vlogs coming soon. But for now, we'll both bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. Whoa.